Hi Gemini, this is Michelle coming at you from Page of Wands Tarot and Oracle. I'm here to do your twin flame love reading for the month of August. This is for divine masculines and divine feminines. If you joined me last time in the month of July, thank you so much for coming back and subscribing to my channel. If you're new, welcome. I am new on the scene here at YouTube, and I'm hoping to continue to do these readings every month to help people on their journeys because I feel I have messages that I'm supposed to convey. So I'm going to do 3 cards on the left for divine masculines and 3 cards on the right for divine feminines with 2 supporting energy cards in the middle. And I'm sort of shuffling the cards right now as I'm talking, and I did already pray over the cards and meditate and all that good stuff. Now, I do want to put out a disclaimer right now that a lot of the energies that we're getting for masculines and feminines are, a lot of them are a little bit staticky and a little bit sort of contentious because we have had a really interesting new moon in Leo. And the sun and the moon were both in Leo with Mars, and I do another little thing called Wine and Spirits TV where I follow the new moon and full moon, and I sort of review a bottle of wine while I talk about what's going on, and I do a tarot reading on that. And I've seen a lot of those energies playing out here. All right, where we've got just some opposing factors, and we've got a little bit of static, and we've got a little bit of like clouding in our communication and how we're feeling on this journey. There's definitely uncertainty coming up. There's definitely some mental fears and things like that, and we could be projecting a lot of that onto our twin. And I think a lot of us are embodying the opposite energies right now, where feminines might be embodying more masculine energies, masculine embodying more feminine energies, and vice versa. It's not necessarily, but you know, obviously you take what resonates with you and leave the rest, right? Everyone tells you that. So let's just get right into it. So masculines, the first card I get for you is the 6 of Swords in reverse. So this, for me, I've morphed my meaning, my interpretation of this card a little bit in the last few days. Normally I say this is a refusal or a lack of feeling like you are able to walk away from a situation that's no longer serving you and to get to sort of higher ground, something that makes you feel safe and is more fulfilling. I feel called to differentiate this from the 8 of Cups, because the 8 of Cups is emotionally deciding to get yourself away from a situation, and in the reverse, a refusal or a lack of being able to get yourself out of an emotional situation that is making you feel upset. All right, and that is not for the higher purpose of soul tempering, because a lot of times the 8 of Cups is a spiritual journey. Okay, this is more of the actions, the thoughts and the actions that you take every day in the upright are able to get you over your challenges to higher ground, are able to get you out of either a mental instability or a situation that is actually contentious and where there may be fighting with people, or it may just be really negative environment, to get yourself to a better place. So in the reverse, it's like not using your words, not using the lessons that you've learned, and in, you know, the lessons that you've learned as a result of your stumbling blocks, or your quote-unquote failures, or just not speaking your mind to get you what you want. So for some reason, there's a stuck energy here, where there's a lack of movement forward to a place that's going to get you to feeling a little bit better about your situation. Now, how you're feeling towards your feminine is the 9 of Wands in reverse. So this card to me in the upright is all about having one fight left and fighting your battle, and sort of like feeling very road worn and weary and feeling very weighed down by your burdens, but deciding you're still going to climb those stairs to get to that moon because you need to get to the end, right? And you're almost there because you're at a 9. You're not quite at the 10, you know, but you're still trucking. It's like you still have one fight left. So in the reverse, it looks like your masculines, you're thinking your feminine maybe has stopped fighting, and is maybe like taking a break and isn't going to continue on this journey, or is maybe questioning whether or not she should. Or that's how you feel towards your feminine. is that you're not really sure you should continue to fight for this, because maybe you feel like you've just been climbing these stairs for forever and it's not getting you anywhere, and you're like Sisyphus pushing that rock up the hill, right? For any of you that know the tale of Sisyphus, he keeps pushing the boulder up the hill and it keeps rolling back down on him and crushing him, and he keeps pushing it back up again. It's like that endless cycle. Now, your underpinning energy, masculines, is the Mother of Cups. So this is a card, someone that is very intuitive, very in touch with her emotions, the embodiment of love, can be very protective over her children and the things that she loves. She's very protective over her cup there, right? And you've kind of got all these beautiful little rainbow stars, and her wing is up as if she's protecting her cup, protecting her love, right? But she's not afraid to give it. This isn't a protection of someone that's like wounded. She could have been through a lot, but this is someone who's very secure in their love, and very feminine energy, very much so, more than any of the other queens, because we're in the suit of cups here with emotion and intuition. All right, so this could be, again, how you're feeling about your feminine, or this could be the general feeling around you right now, is that you have this unconditional love available to you, but for whatever reason you're not using your words and using your actions in a way to get you, to bring you progress, and you feel like maybe something isn't worth fighting for anymore, or that maybe your twin is not fighting anymore for you or for their journey. All right, moving on. Feminines, we get 10 of Pentacles. This is fantastic. Hopefully you Gemini feminines are feeling like you're really feeling this card, like you are. This is all about, this could be like a family inheritance or legacy. This is full stability in your health, wealth, and spirituality, in your home and in your job. This is like you got all your pentacles going on, right? You're rocking it. So this is a really positive place to be in. This tells me, this isn't just like the emotional fulfillment. This tells me that you guys are in a space in your head and in your life where you feel like, you know what, no matter what else is going on, I'm fulfilled. I have everything I need. This is a card of like true abundance. I am abundant, and my life feels full and rich. That's fantastic. All right, now, how you're feeling about your masculines is this 4 of Swords in reverse. So there is a very good reason, I think, why your masculine may be feeling this. She's not fighting anymore for me. She's not fighting on this journey anymore. Or I don't know if I should fight, because you're resting. And this isn't just because you're like, you know what, I need to just take a step back and reevaluate here and connect with myself and my inner light and my inner knowing here. This is beyond that. This is like, this was overdue. This was really overdue. So either you feel like your masculine needs to rest because he's overdue and he's exhausted and he needs to just stop, or this is you feeling like that's what you need to do. Like you know what? You could just be feeling like, I have everything I need and I feel abundant and I have to take a time out because I'm tired. And so I just want to sit and enjoy everything that's around me and really feel this abundance so I can feel whole, which would be a really positive thing. I don't like that this is in the reverse, because it tells me, again, like something is really overdue. Like there was a real need for this, like an urgent need for this, because somebody might be a little bit exhausted and stressed. Then underneath that, I get the Ace of Swords in reverse. So this is a lack of clarity about something, a lack of vision, or a lack of knowing something in particular. And this could really be contributing to the need for this, right? Because it's very possible that maybe it feels like your masculine isn't fighting for you and he's not moving forward into getting what he wants. And so you're just like, or to getting to a better place. And it could be that you're just like, you know what, I can't even with him. Like I have to just stop the madness and rest for a minute because I'm exhausted, because I don't know what's going on with him. And I don't know what's going on in this situation, but I know I need to feel connected to my own abundance. Now, the connecting energy cards here, we get the Son of Wands in reverse. This is an interesting character. In the upright, the Son of Wands is all about somebody really charismatic and really artistic. And this could be a really sociable guy, great personality, outgoing. It is masculine energy. Obviously, I said I think that we're switching a lot right now. So, this could be you feminines as well. But it would be masculine energy. This would be kind of like your guy going out to the bar on his Tinder dates. And your guy, like, going out and sort of exploring the scene, right? Friday or Saturday night, going out with your friends and being sociable and working on a craft maybe. Maybe you're working on your music, or you're working on your paintings, or you're writing a lot, except you're not. Because it's in the reverse. So this in the reverse for me, I'm sorry, sometimes I have to do it in the upright in order to work through the reversal, right? So the reversal in this for me is either somebody that is not using their love in the best way. So again, this could be like your Tinder date person, non-committal, right? Or using their charm to get them something that they want without having intention of committing. This could be somebody that is actually just feeling like they don't have a creative outlet, and they are not feeling charismatic, and they are not feeling like they are attractive, right? Because this would be a very ego kind of card. Like, my hair looks good, my body looks good, I'm confident. There is either an overuse of confidence here for the purpose of manipulation and short-term gain, or this is a complete lack of confidence and self-esteem. Okay? And then right under that, I've got the Five of Cups in reverse. So this guy is sad. This is like, you can lead a horse to water, but can you make him drink? And the Five of Cups are all about cups that have been spilled. It's the crying over spilled milk card, right? It's been like 3 of the cups have spilled over, but there's 2 still standing, but the person in the situation isn't seeing the 2 cups that are still standing. So they're either not seeing the potential of what is still there, or they're not learning the lessons from the cups that have been spilled. So whenever this card is in the reverse for me, I feel like this energy is kind of fading out. And either it's fading out, or it's just been there for a really long time and it's kind of not going anywhere. But I would like to think that this is fading out a little bit. But I think that whatever this is kind of being affected by this. Like, I am seeing this a little bit more as somebody that is just not feeling very on their game, right? Just not feeling on your game, not feeling confident, and it could be due to this sort of like pervading sadness and this inability to see the lessons and see the potential of what is still there and what is still positive. Feminines, I don't really think this is you, because you've got such a positive card here in the upright, right? You've got this sort of feeling of abundance here, even though you're not quite seeing something and you're taking a rest. It could just be that you're not going out, maybe. You don't feel the need to do that, but I really don't see that. I see that more as of what's going on here with the masculine. But we're going to go ahead and clarify, because I don't want to drag this out. So let's get some clarifications for the divine masculines for Gemini for August. On this 6 of Swords reversed, this 9 of Wands reversed, and this Mother of Cups. I mean, that is a positive card that masculines have, this Mother of Cups person here. But again, I think even though this might be here for them, or maybe they're feeling like they've got this access to unconditional love, it's not helping them for whatever reason. Maybe they're just getting like really bogged down in their own sort of woe is me. This could be very victim oriented, right? Woe is me, I'm sad, and I just don't feel like I've got any personal power, right? So let's see here. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. Getting to the root of things a little bit here, masculines. I'm pulling for divine feminines right now, so just bear with me one moment. By the way, guys, if you'd like personal reading, all my information is in the description box below. Obviously, like, share, and subscribe if you feel so inclined. If you want to unlike, that's fine too. Go ahead and give me a thumbs down, but just let me know what you didn't like about the video, because criticism is best when it's constructive, right? Alrighty, so feminine. Weird. I knew that one was going to come out. Okay. All right. Sorry, I got excited. All right. Masculines. Why aren't you using your thoughts and your actions to get you out of a situation that's making you feel stuck and that isn't serving you? Because you are heartbroken. Because you are dwelling on relationships that did not work out. And this might not just be with your feminine. This could be multiple relationships. This could be partnerships that broke down. This could be family relationships. But really, I see this between two people, because it is the Two of Cups in reverse here. There was a lack of harmony and a lack of balance, or lack of timing, that allowed this relationship to flourish. And that is making you feel like you're just like a refusal to move on. A refusal or an inability to move on, specifically with your thoughts and actions. Again, this isn't just emotionally speaking. This is the card of emotions, right? So there is this emotional sadness, but this is more like just not taking the steps to get over whatever the situation was. And then towards the feminine, again, we see the 10 of Wands on top of the 9 of Wands in reverse. The 9 of Wands would almost be going back to the 8 of Wands, right? So this is like your feminine just being like overburdened. There's an overburdened sensibility here. So much confusion. Look at all, so much stuff going on. Because again, this isn't mental confusion, because this is the wand suit. This is more like the actual things. There are actual things going on, challenges, and things happening with your feminine or toward your feminine that are just making you feel like this situation is absolutely impossible and probably not worth fighting for sure. When I'm saying self-doubt, there's so much self-doubt and a lot of, like, not mental anguish and fear, but definitely like hopelessness. There's like a hopelessness, you know? And then on top of your Mother of Cups, we get the Ace of Wands in reverse. So this card is about an obstacle that is preventing a situation from happening. And it's usually like a creative endeavor or a passionate endeavor. All right, so when the Ace of Wands is upright, this tells me that you are feeling like this is like the spark of creativity, right? This is like your muse that hits you and strikes you when you're ready to make that awesome painting or write that poem. But in the reverse, this is like a lack of passion, or it could be just a lack of sex, if you want to bring it into the physical, into the sexual realm, because if any cards stand for sexuality, a lot of times it can be the wand suit, you know, coupled with an emotional card. And we do have the Five of Cups in reverse here, and it is on top of the Mother of Cups. This would be like the Queen of Love. But there is a lack of, maybe there's no passion. Maybe there was a relationship where there was a lot of love and a lot of unconditional love, but there was a lack of passion, and that broke down the relationship. But really what I think this is that this has to do with your union. I mean, it's kind of silly to ignore the Two of Cups in a twin flame spread about union, right? I feel like we kind of need to call the spade a spade there, or call the cups a cup, right? And then with the Mother of Cups, I don't know if this is just like you're not feeling like passionate towards her, or you're not feeling like, oopsie, like confidence, like something that's going to actually grow and flower and fruit into something, right? Like there's no inspiration here. This inspiration is muted. This chance for something to grow and bear fruit is to you being blocked, not available. Okay, feminines. What I'm talking about is on top of your 10 of Pentacles, you got the 10 of Cups in reverse. So it's like you feel this is like full monetary health, love, and spirituality fulfillment, right? Or at least wealth, right? Fulfillment and abundance. but the complete opposite of emotional fulfillment and abundance. So it's almost like you really are using all of the things that you have around you, like your home and your job and the things that bring you security in this 3D realm. It's like you're looking to those things to supplement your abundance because you have a complete lack of emotional abundance. So your wealth and your family and whatever it may be, the domestic things that you're surrounding yourself with are supplementing your feeling of abundance where there is a lack of emotional fulfillment. That is very interesting and very clever. And Geminis, you are clever. So I'm not surprised to see that, feminines. And then also, on top of the Four of Swords in reverse, this is the one I said I knew I was going to see because I was thinking of the Strength in reverse card when I was talking about the woe is me, the lack of confidence, the victim role. This card's been coming out a lot for me, and I've been attributing it to being a scared little pussycat in a corner. You're not being prideful. You're not being courageous. You're not out there hunting for what you want. You're not trying to tame your inner beast to get you to a place where you can really get what you want. You are a scared little pussycat hiding in the corner. And you're feeling a real sense of weakness here, which is why we get this over-exhaustion and this rest. And I think that's why you're looking to this, your domestic abundance to bring you fulfillment where you're lacking in the emotional, right? And then on top of and all this is due is being underpinned by this lack of clarity about something, not knowing the truth about something. Right? And maybe that has to do with your masculine. Maybe if your masculine's not in contact with you, which is a very common thing, that it could be that you are just so overwhelmed and you're so tired of crying yourself to sleep and feeling like I don't have anything, that you're in a place now where you're exhausted. And you have overanalyzed this to the nth degree, and it's making you feel weak and powerless, and you just needed to rest, and you needed to take a step back from all of this. And then, on top of the Ace of Swords in reverse, we have the World in reverse. And so this is about a cycle that is still continuing. Bumps in the road on your path, right? So whatever this sword in reverse is, whatever this thing is that is making you not see the truth, it's hindering your ability to move on. In the last spread that I did, I got Death in reverse. And so for in need for a personal transformation, right? So I feel like this card is kind of saying the same thing. It's like something's not happening. There's a lack of clarity here that is preventing this cycle from moving. And that might have to do with your masculine too. And it might be because there's been this sort of sad energy pervading over everything, and a refusal to learn from lessons, or a lack of learning from the lessons here. All right. So I think this world was coming up a lot in our last readings, where I said we were shifting out of one cycle into another. But here we've kind of got, it's like when something's jamming the cogs, right? And the wheels can't turn. The cogs can't turn because something's jammed it. That's how I see this happening. So it's not that we're not still on our soul mission here. It's not that we're not still on a karmic path. It's that it's being delayed. It's being delayed because there are things that just aren't being seen here. And we got people needing to take a serious time out, and we've got other people that can't move themselves out of these obstacles. Okay? So, in the spirit of being constructive, we're going to go ahead and pull a clarifier oracle card for divine masculines and feminines from my Vintage Wisdom deck. And then we're going to pull one from my Sacred Rebels deck by Elena Fairchild. These are awesome. These are both awesome. These are my two favorite oracle decks, by the way. All right. All right, so divine masculines for Gemini for the month of August. Not too bad, guys, here. Even though there's some stuff kind of holding us back, I don't see this as being all that bad. I've definitely gotten some really interesting spreads for other signs that I'm sure aren't going to be happy with me, but it can't be all bunnies and rainbows all the time, right? It can't be all like, don't worry, your masculine's coming back to you. You know, it's just, we're going to go through these phases. It's just going to happen, but nothing is permanent, and it will always clear itself out, right? So, okay, I'm going to cut one more time. Trying to get it. Masculines, feminines. Okay. Masculines. You got sanctuary. This card is cool with this chick with her headdress on there, and she's kind of got a peacock back there and a little colorful bird, and there's a snake on her headdress. So, I get a lot of like messages with this, with animal totems, transformation with the snake. The peacock is supposed to be about divine, like the third eye, because the spots on the tails look like eyes, and so it's supposed to be about. It can be about confidence and strutting your stuff and all that kind of stuff, but then there's also sort of a divine wisdom kind of thing there, divine seeing, right? So sanctuary, this tells me, masculines, that you need to you need to find your safe place. I feel like you don't have a safe place, and you are probably feeling very guarded over yourself and protective over yourself for whatever reason. And I think it's because you don't have a sense of sanctuary. Like, you don't have a sense of feeling safe and maybe even feeling protected. Now, there is a protection card in this deck, and I didn't get that, so I'm going to say this has more to do with maybe getting yourself, like when you meditate and you can get yourself to a place where you feel just really secure and whole and peaceful. I think that that's what the masculines are missing here. So guys, if you can figure out a way to get yourself a little bit of sanctuary, do it. If you've got to light some candles and some incense and sit in the corner of your room and build a little shrine to just go there and think, do it. If it's a park bench, go do that. Go sit on a park bench and look at the water and try and get some reflection and some peace in your life. Or go into a church and sit in a church in the pew and just sit there and think and look up at all the amazing ornate statues, or the stained glass windows or whatever. Pick a really beautiful church. Whatever makes you feel sanctuary that doesn't have to do with drugs and alcohol, then that's what you need to do, right? Those are numbing mechanisms. Those are not peace-finding mechanisms. So whatever it is that makes you find peace, figure out what your sanctuary is. I'm in mine right now, but even I have to find time to break out of my sanctuary, because you can get too much in your head. But if you don't have that place to go to at all, then you could be having a real problem here, obviously, with not feeling like you can move on from situations, not feeling confident in who you are, and feeling creative, worrying too much about this emotional loss that has happened, a painful emotional loss, worrying about all the obstacles that are in your way, and whether or not you should even keep fighting, and feeling like there's no potential here with this Queen of Cups. Maybe you feel like you just can't have unconditional love and it's not there for you to have, right? You need to find your sanctuary to help you with that. We're going to pull another one in a minute. Feminine. You got adventure. So this is all about, obviously, it could be just having fun. It could be travel. It could be trying something new. I think that maybe what the card that I'm going to associate with this is the Ten of Cups in reverse. Maybe trying to feel your emotional fulfillment. Maybe travel will bring that about for you, where you can really feel like you are a little bit more whole and you're putting that piece back in there, right? And you're finding the emotional fulfillment within yourself. But I feel like this is a calling to kind of take a risk here and maybe do something that's a little bit outside of the box for you. And it doesn't have to be anything crazy. It could just be a weekend trip to the beach with your girlfriends to make you feel good. Or it could be really starting something new. It could be a new creative venture, or it could be a new business venture, right? That's going to get you to a place after you're done with this exhausting resting. That can get you to a place where you feel a little bit more confident. And I think that we're really stressing the movement here with kind of getting the world going. And you may have been really stuck in one place. Maybe that's why the world is in reverse here too. Maybe you physically really haven't been moving or going or traveling anywhere. And so maybe they're telling you need to kind of like get up off the couch and stop feeling sorry for yourself. And just go have fun. That's never a bad card, right? Just go have fun. Okay, so last clarifier. for masculines and feminines. Hi, masculine for Gemini. Gemini twin flames. Okay. Oh, cool. All right, so masculines, you get receiving. And I think this is very apropos. All right. No more feeling like you are not worthy. Stop feeling, look at these together. I'm not worthy. I'm going to put this out there too. My twin is masculine. My twin is a divine masculine. He's a Gemini. And there's been talk in the past, and I don't know if this is still going on, of abstinence, vow of abstinence. For personal reasons, which wouldn't be a bad thing. I have no clue if that's happening. We're not in separation. We are not in communication. Wands don't signify communication for me, but they do signify sexuality. So this could be somebody, again, that's, I don't see this as being so much like going out there and doing your thing. I would see it with this for sure. That, woo, he's out there, having fun. But in the reverse, this could really be a suppression of that. It could be a big suppression of sexuality towards anybody or just towards his twin. Okay? So I am getting that, and that would have to do with this receiving, right? Something that's being held back, something that's being kept away from and denied. It could be that the masculines, that you guys are denying yourselves sex, and that you're denying yourselves relationships and you're not moving on. Again, not taking thoughts and actions to move yourself forward because you are really stuck in this breakup and in this lack of balance and harmony, and you're feeling like there's too much going on, there's too many burdens, there's too many risks, I'm tired of fighting, I can't even, I'm sad and probably a little bit angry for sure, and you need to receive. You need to stop with the unworthiness and know that you are capable and fully worthy of receiving love. Even spiritual, divine, beautiful love. Okay? So the best way to get yourself into this receiving mode, meditate. Please meditate. There's some really good exercises that I've been doing to help clear out a lot of those negative energies. And this is the time when we do really need to come into receiving mode, right? Find your sanctuary. Find what brings you peace. Go there and work on yourself and work on knowing that it is time for you to start bringing some stuff in. And stop worrying so much about what you can't have and what you're not worthy of having or what you think you can't have. And know that you can receive. Feminines, going beyond normal. I love this card. This is all about like being weird, right? And seeing things, having ideas. And remember when I was talking about the cogs? She's got a clock there and there's a gear, like a cog on her head. That's funny. I was just talking about that with the world when I said it's like something's jamming the cogs. So what's jamming your cogs, ladies? Or not jamming your cogs? Like what's keeping you from finding your truth? I think you need to find your truth. And I think that you've been looking to your masculine for emotional fulfillment, and you've realized that this is getting you nowhere. And you're tapped out, and you're like the scared pussycat in the corner because you're done. You're feeling weak and tired and exhausted, and so you're done. And so you're looking to build your wealth around you and use all of your domestic things to make you feel fulfilled in the face of your lack of emotional fulfillment. And the way that you are going to get your emotional fulfillment back and get you feeling more like yourself and in your place of power is by adventure, taking risks, doing something out of the ordinary. That light bulb up there is her idea, right? Ooh, I have an idea. This is what I'm going to do. This is what my next venture is going to be. And then make it happen. Awesome reading, guys. Really, really awesome reading. Masculines, you got some work to do on the inside. Please do it. Commit to yourself. Commit to healing yourself so you can get back into this journey and work more towards your union. Feminines, I think you're doing a pretty good job here. I really do. This might be you too, where you're kind of coming out of this state of feeling sad, and you're like, you know what? I'm just gonna take action, and I'm just gonna do something fun. And that is fantastic, and I highly encourage that. All right, guys, this has been a great reading. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you did enjoy it. Please join me for September's reading. Join me for Wine and Spirits TV when we talk about the moon, and I'll probably do one for the eclipses. It's going to be super cool. I hope you have a great day, and namaste.